Why am I an active member of a group that opposes political Islam, people like Robert Spencer, David Wood, Andrew Boston, Emil Amani, and all the others? Well, there's a simple answer to this. We're doing the work that will not be done by our current university scholars. We are betrayed by our intellectuals, to be brief. Let's take an example. Dr. Juan Cole. He has the perfect resume. He speaks many languages from the Middle East. He's a tenured professor. He has a PhD in Islamic studies, and he's trained in the Middle East. He is what I would call a high-status expert. And what does this high-status expert tell us? Well, his latest book tells us that Muhammad is the prophet of peace amid the clash of empires. Now, this may seem surprising that he would be pushing this idea of Muhammad the prophet of peace. So how does he prove it? What he does is he quotes Quran 41, verse 34. Good and evil are not equal. Repel the latter with greater good, and behold, your enemy will become a devoted patron. Excellent advice. Quran 25, 36. The servants of all merciful God who walk humbly upon the earth, and when the unruly taunt them, they reply, peace. Well, this is similar to the verse in the New Testament of turn the other cheek. Good advice. Then there's some advice about defensive war. Quran 2, verse 190. Fight in the path of Allah, those who enter into combat against you, but do not commit aggression. Allah does not love aggressors. So through these verses, Dr. Cole advances the idea that Muhammad fought only defensive wars. And he gives as an example the Battle of Badr, in which Muhammad was attacked in Medina by the Meccans who left Mecca to come to his place. So this appears as though it's defensive war, but not so fast. The reason the Meccans attacked Muhammad at Badr was he had sent out 7 raids against the Meccan caravans. He had killed, kidnapped, and stole. So Badr, in which Muhammad seems to be attacked in a defensive position, was actually caused by his own actions first. Now, how could an expert as such as Dr. Cole be proven wrong? Well, we have to accept the fact there's only one expert about Muhammad, and that is Muhammad. Muhammad is found in the Sirah, his biography, and the Hadith, his traditions. So if Dr. Cole agrees with Muhammad, then he's right. But if he disagrees, he's wrong. Now, isn't it odd he only references the Quran? Because let's see what the Sirah has to say. I did an interesting idea, which was to take the Sirah and divide it up into peace, arguments and fistfights, and jihad. And if you do this, the Sirah has devoted 2% of it to peace, 28% to arguments and fistfights, and 70% about jihad. So if this were a 2-hour movie, we would have 3 minutes of peace, 28 minutes of argument, and 83 minutes of jihad. So, Dr. Cole, I would say this. You're 2% correct for Muhammad being the prophet of peace, but only 2%. Let's look further at Muhammad. Bukhari, his traditions of hadith, 21% of them are devoted to jihad. And since there's about 7,000 hadith, that's 1,400 hadith about jihad. And in Muhammad's personal life, he dealt in 95 acts of jihad in the last 9 years of his life. And here's an interesting statistic. There are 50 beheadings listed in the Sirah and the Hadith. Now what Dr. Cole says is those who oppose Islam are cherry pickers. That is, they just pick out some bad stuff. Notice what I've done. I've referred to Muhammad's entire career, not cherry picking a verse here and there. Now, Dr. Cole knows these facts, probably not the numbers, but he knows the facts. So why doesn't Dr. Cole tell the whole truth? Well, you see, he lives on a university campus. And on a university campus, Islam is peaceful, jihad is inner struggle, Islamic violence is due to being hijacked, Muslims are always the victims, and Islam can be reformed. So, Muslims are protected and must never, ever be offended. Those who do talk about Islamic violence and evil are Islamophobes, racists, and haters. Now, Dr. Cole lives in an academic bubble. If he told the whole truth, he would be attacked. He would lose the ability to publish papers. No journal would accept his papers. He would lose being invited to speak at conferences. And if he told the whole truth, he would have demonstrations and riots. He would also lose grants, so the money would be gone. Now, here's the bigger danger. If he actually lost his position at one university, based on telling the whole truth about Islam, he could not get another job. He would lose his entire career. Universities no longer are there for debate and critical thought. Facts that offend protected minorities are hate speech. I guess those facts are hate facts. But there's a personal life we all lead, and if he told the truth about Islam, he would also lose his friends as well. So Dr. Cole is not a critical scholar, but an apologist for Islam. And that is the reason that me, Robert Spencer, David Wood, Emil Amani, and all the others do the work we do. We do the work that scholars cannot do and will not do because they're afraid to do. But it's not just Islam they do this with. It also affects ideas about race, migration, gender, and many other things. So I'll have to keep working along with all my cohorts because we're not getting any support from the university, which is a civilizational tragedy. Thank you.